Have you ever worked on a project at your house and worked for 10 hours and barely took a break at all to eat or drink or go to the bathroom? Well, I've done that several times, especially lately. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Midlife ADHD group chat. My name is Maureen. Today I would like to talk about hyperfocus. I think I've already done month or two ago I did a video on hyperfocus. This one's kind of fresh in my mind, so I thought we'd talk about it. It's also involving decluttering, a popular subject among us. Last week I did a video on I've been decluttering, oh boy, my dining room. Well, I'm almost done with my dining room, yay. And then next weekend I'm going to be working on my garage and cellar. I am decluttering my eBay inventory. So I used to sell on eBay. Quick recap. I will put the video up, I don't know, one side or the other. The video that I did, I will put a link up. So yeah, I decided a week, 10 days ago that that's it. I'm done. I'm tired of talking about decluttering my eBay inventory. I stopped selling eBay, I don't know, 3 months ago. And it's been weighing on me. I keep talking about doing a yard sale. Just not happening. You know what? Way too much work. Way too much work that I don't want to do. I have way too much inventory, way too much work. Anyway, I'll do another update. When I'm done, I'm going to do another video about it because it's been going well. What I want to talk about today, though, is, and again, yet another symptom that I always thought was just part of me because I'm a hard worker, everybody. I guess the good part about me, you can either say I'm delusional or I just tend to put a positive spin on a lot of things that I do. But I do tend to put a positive spin on things. I'm laughing at myself. What are you going to do? I just have... I kind of been hyper-focusing I think my whole life, or most definitely since my 20s. And I'll be honest with you, and I think it's gotten worse as I've got on, but I always talk about this. In general, my ADHD symptoms have gotten so much worse since menopause. Oh my God, so much worse. But, yeah, the hyper-focus. Okay, so I always kind of thought I was just a hard worker. Wow, I'm so energetic. That was the other thing I always said. I'm so energetic. Wow, I got a lot of energy. I'm a real hard worker. Wow. So the first day, so I decide this is so typical me. Something can weigh on me. And then I will, boom, make the decision, and then I'm right into it, and then I dive into something. So it's been weighing on me for a few months now. In fact, I've mentioned it in videos. I really have to do something about my eBay. That's a lot of my clutter is my eBay. In fact, the majority of my clutter is eBay. I definitely have my hobbies clutter, but that's more, let me think. I have to be honest now. I'm trying to think. I've already cleaned the living room of my photography gear, so I can't say it's in the living room. And I cleaned my kitchen table of my macro photography stuff. So I can honestly say that I will say a little bit, some of my photography gear is in my bedroom in a corner, but the majority of my clutter for my hobbies is in my office. I got to be honest with you. If the rest of my house is fairly orderly, and I'm not looking for perfection, believe me, I'm not. But if it's fairly orderly and my office is messy, I don't care. That's fine with me. You know what? I'll call that a win, everybody. Would I like to have a more orderly office? Yes, I would, everyone. Maybe I will get there one day. But one day at a time, I have learned that in program. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm 22 years in recovery, and that'll be yet another video I need to do about my recovery. But I do believe in one day at a time. For many things in our life, we need to know that. Know it and live it. So, I decided on a Friday night, a week ago last Friday night, I'm going to get rid of my eBay stuff. I'm not going to do the yard sale. I just needed to make the decision. I was so tired. It's very hard for me when I'm indecisive. I just have to make a decision. So I said, no, I am going to, I don't want to do it. You know what? I'm 62 and I'm tired. I don't want to do yard sales. I'm just getting rid of it. So what I ended up doing was I thought I would just call a whole bunch of, Vietnam vets, big brother, big sister, and Epilepsy Foundation. Those are kind of the three I use. I would call them up and just have them all come, and I just fill everything in contractor bags and out it goes. Well, it ended up, I know someone in program, so I asked her if she needs anything or anybody in her AA groups would need anything. Yes, please. I've given her tons. It makes me so happy to know that a lot of these, young women don't have a lot of things. And this is terrific. So I am thrilled to give them. And I have some really nice stuff. So I am thrilled. And I gave them some professional wear too, in case they're going out for interviews. That kind of thing. Jeans, everything, a mix of everything. One of my friends works at a nearby college, gave her a lot of stuff. So I talk a lot about that in the video, which I will, one of these sides, I will link it about eBay, decluttering eBay. But today I want to talk about the hyperfocus, and I want to talk to you about what I've learned. And I have a lot more learning to do, but there is hope. All right, so hyperfocus. My first day of decluttering a week ago last Saturday. 10 hours, you guys. I'm not exaggerating. 10 hours. When I tell you I couldn't move, and I'm laughing about it now, but it was not funny, and it's a dumb thing for me to do because I'm 62. I've got arthritis. I can get sciatica. Fortunately, I didn't trigger my sciatica, thank you, God. But I have 2 herniated discs in my neck that, I need to be aware of. I have 2 frozen shoulders that have healed, but I don't have the range of motion back, 100%, and I can always start that off again, so I have to be very careful of that. I can't do 10 hours. I'm dragging big bags, and I don't know if you know IKEA bags, but the real big blue ones, I don't know what they weigh, but they hold like 30 to 35 items of clothing. I'm dragging those up and around, and my husband, God bless him, is very patient, and he was helping me a lot, but I don't expect him to sit around our house on a Saturday. He's off doing his own thing, and so I'm impatient. I don't want to wait for him. So I go get my own stuff, and then, I pay for it. So I wised up a little bit the next day, and I am like this. It is very hard for me just to say, okay, why don't you be reasonable? For lack of a better word, it's hard for me to be reasonable. So it's hard for me to do something for an hour. Once I'm in it, and this is what I kept saying the weekend before last, my husband's like, it didn't take you this long. It didn't take you a weekend to accumulate this stuff. So it's not going to take you, it's going to take more than a weekend, Mo. You've got to take a break, blah, blah, blah. All I did was take 2 bathroom breaks, I think it was, and 8 pizza. That was it. In 10 hours. But part of me feels like this is just the way my brain works, just work with it. That's a bigger part of me. It kind of feels like I'm, because I'm so freaking thrilled that I'm getting something done. So my dining room's almost clean. It's almost cleaned out. I am thrilled. I'm going to say I'm going to do a little more after this video, to be honest with you. I really would like to finish it tonight. I'm going to say it's about 85% done. Anyway, it feels so great. Oh my God. And all my stuff is going. I drove into a nearby city today to give to a charity place. This is in a big city. A charity that takes in homeless people. To be honest, I'm not sure. It's not a shelter, I don't believe. But it takes in homeless people and it trains them for jobs. And they need a lot of professional wear for men. And I have a lot of beautiful things. So anyway, I was thrilled. I gave casual and professional things for men and women. So I gave them 8 bags. So I drove in with my friend into the city today, and that felt so good. And then, and like I said, I've given to that AA group. A friend of mine in a nearby college, I gave her more stuff this week for the kids that are going for interviews. I had long gowns. Some of the girls do have events in the college that they would love to wear long gowns, so I gave them. It just feels great. Never mind, I've given so much away to Epilepsy Foundation, Big Brother, and Vietnam vets. And then a couple of girlfriends and a couple of coworkers. So it feels terrific. So they're all going to important things. That makes me happy. The few months before, I was thinking, well, I really need to sell some stuff to recoup some money. And then, I finally decided this is ridiculous. It is causing me so much stress on my shoulders with the indecision of what to do, right? And I just did not want to do yard sales. And there's no guarantee yard sales. You could have 10, put everything out front and you have 10 people show up, So anyway, I was like, it's not worth it. I'd rather just give it away. So I am thrilled. It's working out well. But I need to learn not to hyper-focus. And this is a very relevant example. And that's why I'm talking a lot about the decluttering, because I do think they kind of go hand in hand too. Clutter, hyper-focus. A lot of my clutter is from my hyper-focus, to be honest, yes. So the irony is I'm also hyper-focusing on decluttering. I guess that's good. It's balancing out. I'm being sarcastic. Anyway, yeah. So I did 10 hours a week ago Saturday. Then I did 6 hours on Sunday. And I think I would have done more on Sunday, but I was so physically exhausted. And my rationale was this. The more, I just got to keep moving because I'm motivated. And, what did I kept saying? I have no problem with motivation. It's momentum. I have a problem. And I think that's true for me. I don't know if that's an ADHD. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's an ADHD thing, I believe. Yes, of course it is. So anyway, the momentum, it's like, keep it up, keep going. It's like, the task paralysis. Obviously, I had that about the not doing the yard sales, back and forth, getting rid of the stuff. So anyway, I'm on a roll and I'm getting it out of here. My one whole room in my house was my eBay room, and that was my dining room. But if you follow resellers, you will find that many of us, not all of us certainly, but many of us will have death piles, we used to call them. I had all the stuff I'm talking about that I gave away were death piles, everybody. This was unlisted stuff. I finally, Saturday, a week later, I broke into my listed stuff. So this was all unlisted that I gave away all last week. That just shows how much I overshopped. The nicest way to say it. I joked all week. I feel like I've been at an AA meeting. Hi, I'm Maureen. I'm an overshopper. Hi, I'm Maureen. I'm an overshopper. And you know what? I have to be honest, you guys. I've never felt shame about it. But I just don't feel shame. And I think part of that is a lot of my, I'm 62. A long way coming. I've worked up to this, where, I'm a former therapist. I've been in therapy off and on my whole adult life. I've been in recovery. I used to go to AA meetings religiously the first few years of my sobriety. I've been in recovery for 22 years. So, it's a long way coming, but I don't feel shame because shame means you're a bad character. No, we don't have bad character. We have ADHD. It's a disorder. It's the way our brain works. That said, I do think we have responsibility to make our lives and the people that love us, their lives, better, as much as we can. Do I feel embarrassment? Oh, yes. Does the fact that I filled up my whole dining room with inventory over the past 5 years prevent me from having people over? Oh, most definitely, yes, because it's in the front of my house. I just wanted to talk about the hyperfocus. I did look it up, and I'm using AI left, right, and center. I just find it fascinating. Is it always accurate? No. Is it my responsibility to double check its sources? Most definitely, and I do that. I wrote, whenever I did this, I don't know, recently. I spent 10 hours cleaning out my inventory, and I feel exhausted, ? And they wrote what you describe. Oh, and I said, and I have ADHD. I think that's how I wrote it. This is what one of the AIs wrote. What you are describing is the classic ADHD phenomenon known as hyperfocus, which inevitably leads to executive function burnout. The ADHD brain operates on an interest-based nervous system rather than a linear one. That's a big problem, okay? So our society runs linear. And our brains do not run linear. And I want everyone to realize how important that is because, I think a lot of us do a lot of blaming. Well, why can't I? And I know I used to. Why am I such a night owl? Everyone else goes to bed at 11. Here I'm up till 1 or 2. Or, I'd feel guilty for sleeping till 9 or 10 when everybody else gets up at 7 or 8. Well, you know what? I've accepted it. I have a work schedule that accommodates that situation, and you know what? I don't feel guilty at all. I'm getting crap done at 11 o'clock a lot of times when people are sleeping. So that's an example of, I'm not linear. I don't follow what society says I should do all the time. I mean, I have in the past when I've had to, but, and I think that can be a source of comparison. We can compare ourselves to society and to others and feel bad about ourselves, but we shouldn't. We really should not. It makes it incredibly difficult to self-regulate and pull away from an engaging task before physical depletion. Okay, it should have written my name right across it. Dear Maureen, we're talking about you. Yeah. So anyway, I am not saying I came up with this great thing and you should be so proud of me because I implemented this big routine this week. I got to tell you, the only reason why I learned that I can't do this 10 and 6 hour crap is because I'm exhausted. Physically, my body just could not do it. So every day I did something. And I remember one day I didn't do anything. And I was so fearful that I would lose interest in this. I was so fearful that, hello, I'm back. So sorry for that interruption. I have 2 little 4-legged children. Yes, in case you haven't watched my other videos, their names are Primrose and Tasha. And a leaf must have blown off a tree. They were barking. Yeah, I had to stop and ask them to please stop. So it talks about set hard exit alarms. Okay, so this kind of was helpful for me. There's 2 different things going on. I want to make sure, I think the underlying why I was moving so quickly was I don't want to get bored, task paralysis, and lose my momentum. And I kept saying that to my husband, especially that 10-hour and 6-hour day. I was like, I don't want to lose momentum. I don't want to lose momentum. I'm going. And I'm sure there's also a part of me. I mean, I've been really good about giving away everything. And I'm sure this is a smaller part, but there's a part of like, if I stop and take too long to think about it, well, maybe you never know, I could sell it. I mean, I had some really nice, beautiful things. And I could sell that for something. I mean, I know there was a few things with price tags on them that were very high price tags. And I was like, I could sell that. Nope. No, because I no longer sell on eBay or Poshmark or any place else. I don't plan on selling on Facebook Marketplace. Any place else, I do not want to do it. That's not for me. Not good for an addicted brain. Because I am going to do when I'm done, but I want to be totally done before I do another video. And then I'll let everyone know my progress, what worked for me, what didn't. So if you guys have hyperfocus, which I'm sure many of you have, if you have found something that helps with hyperfocus, chime in, please. Like, put something down in the comments. And it goes without saying, please like and subscribe. And if you have any, of anyone that you think this channel would be helpful for them, please share. Because this is how we help each other, guys. It's like we talk. And, I know this isn't a therapy thing and it's not an AA meeting. But it's a group chat. And, it's where we all talk, not just me grousing about, my ADHD symptoms, but all of us. So I'm hoping, that's how this is going to evolve. And that's my Tasha. Oh, and they're going again. So I think it's time for me to sign off. Since they're going again, here they go. Again, probably a leaf fell off a tree, so my Chihuahua Yorkie mix has to let everybody know all about it. Okay, everybody. So if anybody can relate to anything I'm talking about, and I'm sorry I kind of was going back and forth. It was supposed to be all about hyperfocus, and it became a lot about my decluttering, because that's what I'm doing now. But anyway, if anyone can relate to this, please drop a line. All right, everybody. Until next time.